That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting, say they high, say they sipping pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature that mean extorted it. They forging it. If news ain't good informants who informing them, there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we port in ships important gifts. Of course it is, what extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informant this, informant this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting, say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? In a world where they say that water is just two magic with those subatomic bars of hydrogen that combine with the magic subatomic material ball of oxygen, and then poof, water. They're psychopaths, and it has literally no empirical evidence whatsoever. Until you can isolate anything on the subatomic scale, you can kick rocks, bro. But actually, it seems that water appears to be sentient. What's going on here? So I'm going to go ahead and read some of the donations that we got. Shouts out to everybody that helped support the stream and the tour. I appreciate it. After the stream last night, we got, my man says, Jacob. Okay, I actually read that one. Frank, thank you for the $10 on Cash App. You are the man, and we kicked it today. And my man is super base. Got lots of info, pouring gravy like it's nothing. I like it. Gary, thank you for the generous donation on PayPal. It's much appreciated. It's people like you that help the tour keep going. My man Isaac, I got a 6-pack of biscuits for each stream you put out. Thanks for your dedication and propagation to and of truth. Keep up the hard work. We'll be coming to Houston at some point. Thanks, Isaac. Yes, we will be coming to Houston. I can't tell you when exactly. We're going to the Nasaku lunch on the 22nd, which is a couple days. And I'm going to make sure I have all the spots mapped out for kind of a first section of the tour. And we are going up the East Coast north and then busting west. So we haven't quite figured out if we drop down south in the middle of it or what we're going to do exactly. But we do intend on going to Texas, or at least I know I do, because I was born there and haven't been there since then. But shouts out to everyone that supports. It's much appreciated. And my man Donald for 777, gotta read that out. Sorry, didn't mean to blow your cover. I'm not gonna say your screen name now that I read the actual name on PayPal. But thank you for the support, my man. It's appreciated. Also, shout out to the legend that is Nathan P, will say, because again, I don't know who wants their identity revealed in this crazy world full of gammas where people have to make money in the Babylonian concrete jungle. So yeah, thank you a lot, man. That was very generous, and is going to help us a ton. It's going to help us get our gas and our propane and pay for our place to stay, etc., etc. Your boy just had to drop a little over $1 bill on a tripod so we can go, record with the infrared and with the regular P900 when we go look at the launch. So it's people like you that help us do things like that. I went ahead, sucked it up, dropped 100 and whatever bucks to get the nice tripod, pretty nice tripod. I mean, there's obviously some nicer ones that are real expensive. Before we get started, I'm going to show you guys this as well. Here is the website, masqueradetour.com. If you ever have any questions as to where we are, how you can contact us or donate and support the tour, it'll always be here. You'll always find the most recent stream, although you typically can't actually find them on YouTube for like 12 to 15 hours after they're posted because they're being shadow banned on Globebusters activism. Whatever, they're a bunch of clowns. They're not going to stop us, but that's the most recent stream as of now, which you are currently taking part in. And then you have the contact information here, a little about the tour, the donate information. This is going to be the Twitch stream right here, which is live as we speak. This is the whatever it's called, QR code, which tells you all kinds of different links about the channel, how to keep up with the tour, etc. And here are some pictures from the tour, which will be updated. And anyone tells me a testimonial that they want in there, send it to witsit@protonmail.com. Actually, you can just contact via the Masquerade Tour website or right there. And then it'll always show you where we are, which right now we are in Wakuwa Spring State Park. A lot of people say, Austin, don't show your location, blah, 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 blah. Hey, man, Yahshua's got me. Yah's got me. Abba the Father's got me. I'm not tripping, man. They can't touch me. All right, so I'm also going to show you guys this before we get into the gravy. Someone asked me where I got my hat. I hate to do this in a way, but it's all good. I mean, it's cool. It's still a good message that's supporting. It's actually on sale right now for $18 when I had to pay the $30. Pretty dope, as you can see. And it's got a little velvet underneath the bill. It's pretty fresh, my guys. So there you go. Someone asked, and there's your answer. It is Art of Homage. So if you want to look it up, just Art of Homage, YHWH or YWHW or whatever it is. Y'all get it. YHWH, and you will be able to find it. Then let me show you this also. So if anyone's in the area and wants to go look at the pseudoscientific fairy tales of them going to a medium that defies physics, where of course it'll just be parabolic trajectory and they're not going to space because they can't. This is the launch right here. Commercial crew launch, Kennedy Space Center at 6:11 a.m. Don't say I never did anything for you guys. We will be up with 2 tripods and 2 P900s rolling as we flat smack all observers. Of course, we won't berate them drunk or anything like that. We'll just casually and respectfully let them know they're being lied to and the scriptures are literally true. That is my motivation to go out into the world. If anyone is new to the channel. Rocket launch, April 22nd, 2021, 6:11 a.m. SpaceX Falcon 9 Crew 2 launch, which, of course, there's a coincidence that they love to show dragons as their little logo. But here you go. That's where we'll be. We're going to expose them and use the infrareds, maybe a polar lens. I don't know what exactly is going to happen. I have to actually put an infrared lens on the infrared camera, so I can't put a polar lens on there. I may put one on the regular camera, move it around, see what we get. So now that we've got all the basics covered, I'll go ahead and share the one thing that starts the stream here. I got set up for you guys. Chrome tab, bang, bang, bang. All right, so the name of the stream is Becoming Water. I saw my man Anthony talking about the title of the stream is confusing me. But yeah, the gravy is coming. I'm not going to give it away, but let's just say water we've been misled about. Okay, they tell us this all about this periodic table. Now I know a lot of people are going to spiral right now, but I don't care. I literally put the disclaimer at the beginning so I don't have to deal with you people, and my mods knows what's up. So if you're going to spiral, go ahead and just see yourself out. Wrong saloon, my dude. But anyway, so the periodic table, it's interesting. It's isolated phenomena on the quote-unquote subatomic scale. It's kind of like the electron. It's not that phenomena, it doesn't exist. It's that what they claim the characteristic of it is doesn't exist. The electron is nothing more than the terminal end of one unit line of dielectric induction. In fact, J.J. Thomson, the person that's attributed to discovering the electron, which they knew about it thousands of years ago, guys, in case you didn't know, he actually originally said this, but then he kind of got coaxed in with his little Nobel Prize, and he ends up saying it's some little physical subatomic particle of matter or has material characteristics so that he could get his little Grabler Prize. The truth is that there is stuff beyond the material, perceivable, physical world, and they cannot tell you this, because then you will realize that you're very powerful. And the little pseudoscientific fairy tales about you coming from rocks and monkeys doesn't really hold much weight when you know that there's a metaphysical, etheric realm around you. There provably is. It's the only viable option to explain phenomena. But anyway, so now that you get it, my point is the periodic table is flooded with pseudoscientific presuppositions of material characteristics, right? So just assuming that something is material or physical doesn't actually make it so, right? You cannot quantify the immaterial. This is my main contention or critique of quantum physics. I think it's actually, at the forefront of discovering new phenomena, or at least in modern times, again, because we are less advanced than people used to be. But that doesn't actually mean that the way that they define these things and the assumed characteristics of them are true. For example, we've learned a lot about the way that light behaves, if you will, but we don't actually seem to know what it is when it comes to higher academia, right? They say that it has this particle wave duality. What does that even mean? That's stupid. It's a particle when it's a wave, but it's a particle when it needs to be, because it isn't consistent with the wave assumption. And then, oh no, it's a particle because it isn't consistent with the wave assumption. But waves are in fact not things. They're type of movements. They're transverse movement. That's all it is. It requires a medium. It's a movement within the medium. Light's all around you, right? And certain energy introduced into this etheric realm around you actually results in illumination. This is what we call light. We then quantify the illumination rate. So they don't even understand what light is, yet they don't want to tell you all about it. They don't understand what's on the subatomic scale, but they want to tell you all about it. They don't understand the lights in the sky, but they want to tell you all these pseudoscientific fairy tales about it. They do the same thing with water. And this is by no mistake, but humans are just being misled via their ego and their pride and their love of money by something that inside, or bigger than the material world, outside of the purview of this perceivable physical world. So with all that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and show you all a little something that I'm sure a lot of you have seen, but it's pretty interesting, and it leads credence to the idea that water appears to be sentient. And then I'm going to get into explaining what I mean with the title of the stream by becoming water, which I think is a very important piece of the puzzle that we start to fully comprehend in these crazy times that we are in. So without further ado, let's just check it out. If I can figure out how to make it a full screen. just going to pause it for a second. As you can see, the molecular structure, quote unquote, of all of the water is changing based on the vibrations that they're bathed in, pun intended. Bang, bang. So pretty cool. I'm sure some of you have seen that before, but there's a whole lot of gravy involved in the subject, and we're probably just going to scrape the surface. Let me get this little gay disclaimer over here. So yeah, I saw my boy Mr. Anderson point out a little bit of gravy there. It doesn't say that he created the waters, right? He hovered over them, and then it says that he created the firmament to separate the heavenly waters from the earthly waters. Well, this is going to get right into becoming water. Now, they tell us that we are majority water, right? And it's pretty provable that we have tons of water in our bodies. So if we are roughly 2/3 water, around 70% of us is water. Most of the earth that has been explored, at least, is water. Water is obviously very, very important, right? And so they lied about it. They lied about the nature of it. They've lied about the nature of everything. They don't want you to understand that everything's about energy and vibration and frequency, right? And not as if they're different things, different modalities of the same thing, right? Nikola Tesla tried to tell you this. He also explained that it all comes down to 3, 6, 9 and sacred geometry, et cetera, et cetera. So, we are basically represented around this natural realm that we live in. Like there are characteristics of us all throughout nature, whether this be animals or nature itself. Trees, for example, of course, that the limbs and the roots look just like your brains and your lungs, and we use them to breathe. They use us to breathe. Everything is beautiful. Everything is for a reason. Now, one of the books that were removed, and I believe it is Jubilees, it explains that on the first day, he created the angels, and that they were made with spirit and water, and that we were made with spirit and dirt. This is what we die. Okay, we're in the fallen state and we die, and we're made with spirit and dirt. We are in this material confinement of a physical vessel. We are not like that of the angels until after this realm. So now you maybe are understanding the title of the stream. We're in the process of earning and becoming the state of water, becoming water-like, right? Because they were made with spirit and water. And it describes even that they're able to change form, that they're able to go from place to place instantly, right? And they can actually change the way that they are perceived. The actual version of themselves is in their own control. Now, of course, humans cannot be trusted with this yet. It's very obvious. And, Frank and his brother and I, we were talking today, and this is what sparked this. And what's crazy is I was sitting here and I was wondering, I was like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do my stream about. And I was just kind of thinking about it. And then I shout out to Chris because he's in the back. And I'm like, bro, should I title it like this or this? I'm bouncing a few titles about water off of him. He's like, wait, what? And he walks in here and he's like, dude, I was literally just now thinking that you should do your stream on water because of the conversation earlier. I'm like, wow, bro, that's pretty crazy that we were both at literally at the same time thinking that we should do the stream on water. That confirmed it. And so basically the part is that's really pretty insane to think about is we are basically in the process of earning our metaphysical state. Because I used to always get this question from one of my friends who was an atheist, or at least he claimed to be. There's no such thing as an atheist in the whole world. The etymology of atheism is no God, no creator, so that no one will definitively claim that they know that there is no creator. No one will. Put any of the atheists on the spot and say, are you saying you definitively know that there is no creator? They will not say that. We'll say, sorry, bro, you need to go ahead and take your little religious label of atheism away because you're agnostic at best. You just don't know. Okay? And of course, that's also stupid and a lie, because everyone knows deep inside of them that they were created. It was actually written on their hearts. Eventually, they will be turned over to their hardened hearts due to pride and ego. They'll try to convince themselves they weren't created. But nevertheless, we all know that we were created. Now, one of my friends that at least called himself an atheist used to ask me this question that a lot of quote-unquote Christians seem to get stumbled upon. And maybe they just haven't had some of this discernment revealed to them. But basically, he said, well, if the creator's omnipotent and he knows all things, why would he create the angels and then the humans, knowing that the angels would come deceive the humans? Why even do that? Why create the humans? Why put the humans in this state where they don't know the truth? They don't get to be in the presence of the creator, and they got to figure everything out. A very carnal-minded question, of course. And what I used to say to him was, well, think about it. Say the angels have their full metaphysical capabilities, the capability to destroy or to create, and some of them abused it, right? So what has happened is basically a bulletproof system has been built by Yah, the Father, the one true creator that you should get right with. He built this bulletproof system, just being the magnificent creator that he is, where you're going to actually have to earn that power. Now you're going to have to go to this physical state where if you get cut, you bleed, where you got to go through struggles, you got to constantly be refined, you have to learn and grow and swallow your pride and stop saying that you're a god and all this other nonsense. But you actually have to swallow your pride, humble yourselves, and then it's a test, right? But it's an open book test. You can just be the person in the room that doesn't open up their book or left it in their locker, and everyone else is just breezing through the test if you want to be, but that's just, of course, arrogance. So it's a test, but it's an open book test. And as you get through this test, if you actually persevere till the end and you earn the right to this metaphysical capability, it is, of course, pretty reassured at that point. You're not going to abuse it. You're not going to then get in the presence of the actual creator when you had faith and you followed him and you actually worked and persevered till the end, constantly growing, that you're going to then get your metaphysical power and abuse it, take it and destroy things, right? So basically, if you earn it in this state, then you earn it and you get to have it, and it kind of solves that problem, right? So that's why, in my opinion, at least, there is like the angels and there are the humans. Of course, trying to ever question why the creator would do something and trying to judge him and say that you're more moral than him, or that you have more power than him, or that you can do things better than him, or that the creator of the scriptures is, insignificant to you, or you're like basically not as intelligent as you. It's so laughable to think that you can even wrap your mind around some of these overarching principles of creation, right? And your carnal mind is very, very diluted. Bluntly, that's what it is. It's laughable. It's a futile pursuit destined to oblivion to think that you can understand the entirety of the creator from the perspective of outside all of our perceivable creation. It makes no sense. So basically, we are in a test. We're in a process of earning this metaphysical capability. And again, when Yahshua was pressed by the Sadducees, and this is one of the biggest proofs of the book of Enoch, right? So they try to basically constantly catch him slipping so they could try to kill him. Right? They wanted to prove that he was breaking some of their man-made religious laws that they took and added to the instructions. And they wanted to prove he wasn't the Messiah. They wanted to prove he was being blasphemous. And they wanted to prove he wasn't breaking the law so they could have some justification in their little man-made system of laws so that they could kill him, right? Because they wanted to kill him. Because he was constantly rebuking them. This was actually the motivation for them wanting to kill him, was because he was constantly calling them out for all of their hypocrisy and all of their man-made doctrine and dogma, right? So they corner him and they're like, okay, Yahshua, right? Because they certainly didn't call him Jesus. And they're like, okay, Yahshua, so according to Moses, if a man has a wife and he dies, the brother is to take the wife. Well, what happens if the brother dies, and it happens 7 times? Who gets that wife in heaven? And he said, you know not the scriptures, nor the power of Yah, for there is no marriage in heaven. You are like that of the angels. Okay, and this is not described anywhere in the scriptures prior to this in the canonized text that we've been given that have 66 books. But in fact, it is described specifically, you are told this, in Enoch. Okay, which means when he says, you know not the scriptures, what's he talking about? Where in the scriptures does it say this? It says it in Enoch. Yahshua called Enoch scriptures. Right? And so I've never heard anyone offer like sufficient rebuttal to that to try to dismiss Enoch. But my point is applicable to this stream is he says, you are like that of the angels. Now, once again, I believe it is Jubilees. You take Jubilees into account. And you know that in the first day he created the angels, but he's using spirits and water. And he created us using spirit and dirt. Okay, so the water that was already existent is taken with the spirit, and then it makes us, right? Or it makes the angels. So we are going to earn our way to this metaphysical state where we will be like that of the angels. We are in a process of becoming water. And if you look at water, it's beautiful. It's amazing, right? It constantly is in a flowing nature, right? It just rolls off of whatever's trying to prohibit it. It conforms to its container in this beautiful seeking of equilibrium, which of course debunks the magic spinning cartoon ball brought to you by Jesuit priests that say you're in an ever-expanding universe of nothingness where water bends convexly around the exterior of a spinning object, which is directly antithetical to fluid statics. We know the way that water behaves. It conforms to its container and finds its level. That's why we put fluid in levels. It's called sea level. But anyway, I think we all pretty much know that we're not really here to just dumb ourselves down to a lower vibration and frequency to keep trying to argue with people that don't have eyes to see and ears to hear. And I hope a lot of you guys are starting to learn that that's the wavelength, even though waves aren't things and don't have links, that we need to get to. We don't need to continue to dumb ourselves down to these conversations that people want to say that level means curved and that fluid statics gets thrown out the window because somehow this globe Earth gets to make consistent antithetical claims to all natural physical laws. That's just stupid. And eventually you have to dust your feet off, let the dead bury the dead. We have bigger things to figure out. We live in a crazy time. Clearly, in my opinion, we are in the end. In fact, he revealed this to me, in my opinion. And so I think we need to kind of move on. We need to keep it pushing, right? This is the great divide. Not everyone's ready. So when you look at water and you look at how it behaves and how the molecular structure changes based on the certain vibrations it's around, you start to realize that not only is there power in the tongue, there's power in tongue, like the power of life and death in the tongue, and those who love it will eat of its fruit, right? Your vibrations have a lot of power, and we discussed this in a previous stream, right? What you say means a lot. How you say it means a lot. What you believe when you say it has a ton of power, and you're just tapping into this power that you ultimately get unimpeded if you persevere till the end and you represent the truth, right? And if we are in fact in the end, this may mean you actually have to stare into the face of death and stay strong until the end, even if you get decapitated. And so that's when we'll know if a lot of people is really about that life, right? Because a lot of people like to talk about it, a lot of people. But that doesn't actually mean you believe it. Doesn't mean you actually know it's true. We'll know whenever you have to sit there and look into the face of decapitation. You have to stay strong and then just walk up there bold as a lion and be like, hey, man, I get juice in the metaphysical realm for this. Go ahead. I get a crown, bruh. I'm not scared of you. Thank you. Right? So that's what it comes down to. We're gonna have to really start to refine ourselves. Stop trying to think about everything with your carnal mind. I'm not going to swallow my pride and go talk to the Creator until I can answer every single question about the scriptures that elude my cognitive ability with my carnal mind. No, how about you just go pray for discernment and wisdom and get right with the Creator, and He will begin to reveal things to you as you're ready, as you actually grow and swallow your pride and increase in humility and are willing to heed correction, right? If to heed correction, you will 100% start to feel convicted about things. Now, you might not be ready for that, but if you actually seek it, you will find it. You'll start to feel guilty about things. I lived it, bro. None of you people can tell me something different because I lived it. I know it's real. If you seek it, you will find it, but not everyone's ready for what they're going to find. They're going to start feeling guilty about things that they consider petty. Just like today is a celebration of just making sure you remain in a state of lack of sobriety, right? And I'm not hating on anyone for that because I did it most of my life, right? I did it from 13 up when it comes to smoking. I know all about it, but we have to heed correction and continue to grow. And then we get to our metaphysical powers, our metaphysical state, right? So we see that water's molecular structure is affected by the vibration that it's around, right? If you play classical music next to water, it's sweet to the taste. We can see exactly how it changes and how rock music is terrible for it and saying, I despise you, the water looks terrible. But then there's a beautiful sacred geometry and a beautiful symmetry to the water whenever you say, thank you, or I love you. Right? Or dare I say, if you say like the actual name of the Creator around it, or that's what we should do. We should do our own water test with Hebrew words out of the scriptures and watch how beautiful the water is, right? That's what we should do. But the point is that water is receiving these vibrations and these emotions and reciprocating it in their actual physical form. Like it's actually physically changing and representing what it is that you are putting around it in the form of vibrations. We also know about sonoluminescence, like star in a jar. If you send certain vibrations, water will actually turn to light. Okay. So we need to get into the process of becoming water, this fluid that constantly moves. Okay. And dare I say, the ether is basically a version of water. It is water-like. It's fluid-like. It's all around you. Like we get a little bit of taste of like the most important elements that's all around everywhere. We get a version of it here in this perceivable world so we can kind of grasp it. And whenever Yahshua heals the man of being blind, just in case you don't know, he broke numerous Talmud laws, right? So he spit on the guy's eyes. You can't do that. You can't spit on someone's eyes on the Sabbath, right? He worked the dirt. You can't do that. According to the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the real religious, dogmatic psychopaths that just did this for clout and money and societal hierarchy and et cetera, he was breaking the laws they added, the men's laws they added to the actual instructions, which, again, that's what Torah actually translates to, instructions. And so he spit on the dirt, he worked it, he worked the dirt, and then he spit on it, put it on his eyes, and told him to walk over a day's journey, broke another Talmud law, and then told him to go get into the river. The river was over a day's journey away, right? And so it's go get in the water, go dip yourself in the water, right? The other guy who has leprosy, what's he have to do? He has to go dip himself in the Jordan, right? Dip him, or I think it's the Jordan. But you have to go dip yourself in water. If you've ever been to the ocean, there's something very special about the ocean, okay? You can feel that there's something special about the ocean, right? Water is one of the number one things that keep you from getting sick. If you have all kinds of illnesses and ailments, just stop eating so much nonsense food, go get in the sun and drink some water. Drink a whole lot of high alkaline water, and you're not going to be sick. Dr. Sebi proved this, right? We were talking about this earlier too, but Dr. Sebi, he was being prosecuted by the FBI, who has a 98% prosecution success rate, defended himself, right? They accused him of basically making false medical claims, saying that he could cure cancer. So they said that for each different cancer he said he could cure, you have to bring in 7 different people that will testify to it. He brought in like 70 or 80 people that came in and beat the FBI by representing himself. And what he told you was to stop eating, to fast, maybe sea moss here and there, but really you want high alkaline vegetables if you can't completely cut out food. But what you want to do is completely fast and just drink high alkaline water. Water is very important, right? So if you're not feeling healthy, you're not drinking enough water. I can almost assure you that it's all about water. You need to drink water, right? Water is very important. It gives you life. Whenever you're going to plant a seed, what makes the seed grow? Water, bro. Water. Water is one of the most important things in the world. So my point is, again, that we are in the state of becoming like water, and we have to persevere till the end and get right with Yahshua and Yah and stay dedicated to that truth, and then we will eventually be entrusted with our unimpeded metaphysical state like that of the angels who were made with spirit and water. They can change form. They can go from place to place instantly, right? They're actually in control of their physical manifestation. Us as humans are not. We were made with dirt, right? So we're in this limited physical confinement in this physical vessel. Now, actually, it's a blessing that we are, right? Because we are actually treated as if we earned it. So we actually have a little special acknowledgement for that because we had to earn our state. We weren't just given to it from the jump. Although it certainly eludes my cognitive grasp, you could ever be in the presence of the one true creator and choose to rebel or to buck the system, but that's what he did. So Bruce Lee, be like water. Yeah, exactly. Not fluoridated water. Yeah, of course not. Fluoride's terrible for you. So there you go. That's all. Like, guys, I just want you to realize that we've been lied to. Water is basically sentient. It isn't 2 little subatomic material, pseudoscientific balls that combine with another ball. They love their balls, you know. Of course, don't be shocked. They're really into sodomy. Of course they love their balls. They're all about balls. Balls. Little pseudoscientific magic balls. They say that balls are the perfect shape, spheres are the perfect shape, and then they replace the true creator with their deity of gravity. It's a force that isn't a force. You can think of it like a force. It acts like a force, but it's not a force. It's where conceptual abstractions have physical properties like bending, warping, and dilating, and that's a reification fallacy. And one of these conceptual abstractions they attribute physicality to is actually a privation, which is literally a concept of nothingness. Nothingness is an idea of a privation, right? That's what they actually define space as. Aristotle was the one that originally postulated this privation of space. This is because they cannot in any way acknowledge anything beyond the material world, because that means that there is type of an etheric realm, a metaphysical realm. And if that's the case, the Earth's not a spinning ball, right? Because Michelson Morley and Michelson Gale combined completely dispel that notion. So they told you there's nothing beyond the material perceivable world, and they wanted to dumb you down to materialistic, nihilistic, mind-numb zombies so you can have an empty vessel. And we covered this in the reemergence of sun worship, which was shadow banned for like 15 hours so that they can keep the numbers down. But what they're going to do is they're going to come and fill this empty void you have. They've detached you from this supernatural inevitability, right? And they've emptied your vessel out so they can come and fill it. Now, a lot of people have acknowledged that there's a supernatural, but they've already fallen for the great deception. They don't even realize it. When you say stuff like, you're your own God, and you get to create your own code of ethics, right? Because that's like a contradictory claim. That doesn't even make sense. You're going to acknowledge that there's a creator. Well, of course, the necessary antecedent to creation is a creator. If you know the Earth's a geocentric stationary plane, meaning the center of everything, not moving, immovable and fixed, and as a firmament that protects you, it was created because the necessary antecedent to pressure is containment. Then you have to acknowledge a creator. The necessary antecedent to creation is a creator, right? But then at the same time, simultaneously, you want to say that there isn't a linear code of ethics? That's impossible, bruh. If there's a creator, there's a linear code of ethics. There's objective morality. There is no other way. There is no other way, bro. If there's a creator, there's a linear code of ethics. Who created this linear code of ethics? Do you get to update it and create it and just based on how you feel? Because that's the opposite of the truth. And we are told that the heart's the most deceptive above all things. All things above all things, okay? So if you're leading your morality with emotion, you're not good to go, bro. You're wrong. It's actually absurd to simultaneously hold the claim that there's a creator and that there's no linear code of ethics. That makes no sense. It's just intellectually not viable, bro. It doesn't make any sense. Put me on stage with anybody that wants to debate that. I will debate the depths of it. It's retarded. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so there's a creator, there's a linear code of ethics, and it is here written for you. It was written on your heart as in the form of a consciousness, and in fact, we are actually laid out with perfect instructions. Here goes a little cheat sheet, guys, right? And this is how you ultimately attain your metaphysical power. Now, you're in the fallen state in this not perfect body, so can you actually attain it? Can you fully attain the metaphysical power in this physical confinement of a body, this physical vessel? No, you cannot. Because none of you are perfect, bro, right? Because if you just lust after a woman, boom, there goes your metaphysical power. Well, guys, I know all of you lust after women. I know it, okay? Now, you can rein in your lust. And when you see a beautiful woman, you can be attracted to her, but immediately rein it in and forget about it, right? You don't have to stare at her and see how thick she is for 20 straight seconds. For those of you still watching porn, y'all are really tripping, bro. I don't know how long you've been watching my channel, but y'all are really missing the mark on that one, bro. It is a weapon. That is why it is free. They used to actually infiltrate enemy troops with pornography to desensitize them and to distract them, right? So please stop watching pornography. It corrodes your brain. It's more addictive than heroin, chocolate, sugar, coffee, all of it. Pornography makes your brain so stupid. It makes you so dumbed down and numb. It's ridiculous. And it pulls that male life force out of you. You are not to be spreading your seed everywhere like a crazy psychopath, watching runaways get plowed on the internet, while creepy grabblers give it to you for free. If you can't put that together, I'm not sure. Now, like, guys, I lived it. I know, like, I used to watch porn, right? It's an addiction. Stop. Just stop, guys. Stop. Rein it in. But I kind of got digressed there because I know someone needed to hear that for sure. But the point is that you have to work on this. You're never going to perfectly never, ever think anything bad. You're never going to never have anger. You're never going to never be angry with your brother, right? But you have to rein it in and keep growing, and you're going to get to where you can bridle your tongue, right? So if you keep dropping the F word like a conjunction, make yourself do 5 push-ups every time. Eventually, you're not going to want to say the F word anymore, bro, because you're tired. You're going to have to force yourself into being more restrained, right? Like being more disciplined. But that's the whole point. You can't actually be perfect. Only one has come in the flesh, in the physical form, and been perfect. That is Yahshua. And that is how you know that he is not just some dude, right? There's this big movement in the truth movement to undermine the divinity of Yahshua, which we covered a little bit back. Dude, in the beginning was the Word was with Yah, and the Word was Yah, Elohim, right? God, okay? The Word was God. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Okay, but he's obviously not equivalent to the Father in the metaphysical form. He's in a limited physical state. But the Word became flesh and was perfect and lived out the instructions. You know the words of the instructions. He lived them out perfectly so that when his blood was spilled, it was perfect atonement for your sins because it balanced out that metaphysical equation. It was not tainted by sin, guys. Do you get it? It wasn't tainted by sin. That's all it is. It's very simple. Humans overcomplicate simple things, but divinity is simplicity, right? It is the master of deception that tries to confuse and overcomplicate things like little subatomic particles bouncing around and combining with each other and then colliding and then turning into water. Oof, water. That's so stupid, bro. No, Can you take some water and pull it apart and then give me a couple pieces of hydrogen, please? Give me a little hydrogen atom and then give me a little oxygen atom and then take two and put them together. It's all pseudoscience, bro. It's to undermine the majestic nature of creation, right? Water is something that will consistently elude your grasp in entirety, right? You are just supposed to be compelled to be like it, right? It's fluid. It just goes with the flow, bro. It goes with the flow. So whenever someone's casting stones at you and lying about you and stealing from you, just let it go. Let it go. Be like water. We are to become like water. We are becoming water. Literally, if you persevere to the end, you're becoming your metaphysical water-like state, wherein which you will be made as if you were made with spirit and water, as opposed to spirit and dirt. It's quite a bit of gravy there if you are taking it in, and I want y'all to realize that's a beautiful thing. So we are becoming water, right? We're becoming water-like. We're becoming a metaphysical state that is made with spirit and water, and that's beautiful, bro. Why doesn't the Bible call him by his actual name? Well, why don't you ask the Roman Catholic Church that took out most of the books and then left you 66 books in the end, and then they changed the name of the creator to Jesus Christ. So if they could run around saying that they're the Society of Jesus and then take a little dagger and cut their hand open and start bleeding and say, we will never turn on our fellow brothers of the Jesuit order, or we will actually, before we do that, we will take an infant and crush his skull. And if I ever do turn on them, then how about you just slice me from ear to ear and then eviscerate me and set me on fire? And then it requires 17 years to be a Jesuit trained or Jesuit priest. You ask me why they took it out. Because if it's just a fairy tale used to trick you, why did they change the Messiah's name and change his birthday? Because he's the most historically accurate figure to exist. 99% of atheist historians admit that he existed. They admit that he was crucified. They admit that his tomb was empty. And they admit that numerous corroborative witnesses say that they saw him in a metaphysical state afterwards. And they say that it was just simultaneous group hallucinations. And this is because they cannot say anything about history if they throw out the historical documents of that. Now, a bunch of people that don't do any research, they're like, you're telling me that the writers of the Gospels weren't historical writers? You've done no research, bro. You sound really dumb to anyone that has done research. I did it. I did the real research, the non-biased real research. Dude, some of the authors of the scriptures didn't just write books that were in the scriptures, guys. They wrote all kinds of historically accurate documents. They used these documents for all kinds of historical corroboration and context. So atheist historians, they know that they cannot just throw out the writers of the gospel because they're too credible of a historical source. Historically speaking, Yahshua is the most accurate figure ever. That's way more accurate than Alexander the Great, etc. Alexander the Great's in second place, and it's not even close. If you guys can't be that real about the situation, and you want to make up stories about how he didn't even exist and he's just a fairy tale, that's a joke. But my point is, yeah, there you go. There's the answer. Why did they change his name? Because there's power in his name. And I know some of y'all are going to go down swinging till the end saying Jesus. I'm not saying that like you're doomed or it's a damnable offense or a salvationist or whatever. There's forgiveness and ignorance, right? But there's also a point where you're no longer ignorant, bro. You're sitting here on my stream right now, and we all know that wasn't his name, bro. Jay didn't even exist until like the 1400s. He didn't call himself Jesus. His mom didn't call him Jesus. The people that followed him didn't call him Jesus. No one called him Jesus. That wasn't his name. That was not his name. They changed it, and there's power in the name. Okay, there's power in the literal vibration of his name, guys. So we should get closer to his name. Like I always use this analogy. I heard this from North Star. Shout out to North Star. He's a legend. If the little creepy grappler himself, Netanyahu, comes over to your house for dinner, all right, are you going to call him Netanyahu because you're in America? No, that's disrespectful to call someone a name that's different, right? It's just like someone's name is Jose. I don't call him Jose, bro. That's like disrespectful, bro. It's disrespecting that dude. Right? You're going to disrespect that man and call him Jose, Netanyahu? No, but you can somehow disrespect the actual Messiah and call him a completely different name that the people that worship Lucifer as a collective ideology of illumination, they can call him that, and they call themselves the Society of Jesus, and you're going to call him that? They love to carry him around while he's being crucified. They love to show him in the form of being tortured and in pain. They love to show him on the cross being crucified. Then they say that they're the Society of Jesus. And Christ is just a title. And there are people that have come out that have been Satanists for many years, right? And they said they're assigned to certain churches, and they go to the front of them, and then they say, praise the Lord, praise God, praise Christ, praise Jesus. They know the real meaning of the names. They know the real etymology, right? And there's a Talmudic interpretation application of Jesus is may his name and remembrance be blotted out, right? Now, like, There's some argument about that, right? But what I do know is that wasn't his name. You're calling him out of his name. So eventually you're going to have to face the fact that maybe you should just take a step back, and you don't have to go down swinging about it, bro. You don't have to just go down swinging about the name. Like, I'm not trying to judge you for the name. I'm not saying it's a salvation issue. I'm saying, bro, if you love him, if you truly love him and you respect him, you respect the Father and the Son, why not just try to call him the real name, bro? Why? Why not? It is pride. It is, you've defended it. You've made fun of yahoos. There are Christians that go around saying, oh, are you one of those yahoos? Are you one of those people that love to... Yeah, I grew with the Creator, and I learned that I wanted to respect him enough to call him his real name. So why did they change his name? The same reason they changed his birthday to December 25th, so they can eventually tell you that it's just a story like all the other religious stories, and it's about the sun and the path of the sun in the sky, right? And that there's the winter solstice, and then it comes back after 3 days, so that they just created this story of Yahshua, right? But they'll call him Jesus. They just created the story of Jesus after the sun, right? There are people that run around and say this still to this day, flat earthers. They're supposedly so awake, they can't even do independent research and then clearly falsify the movie Zeitgeist. They're running around regurgitating Bill Maher as if they're truthers now. You're such a truther that you're literally still regurgitating Bill Maher in 2021. You're so woke. Like, it's stupid, bro. It's so retarded. And then they didn't even hide what they were doing. They then covered 9/11 in the second part of it. 9/11 is clearly, it appears to be his real birthday, right? So they changed his birthday, and it's actually supposedly the birth date of Nimrod, right? And they undermined the validity and the true divinity and the true story of Yahshua so that you wouldn't know about it. They did not do this with Muhammad. They didn't do this with Buddha. They didn't do this with the Hindu Vedic texts. No, they don't, bro. They don't do that. You can't be honest enough to admit that the scriptures are getting a different type of persecution. This is pride. A lot of the people within the flat earth community, they sound like Globers when it comes to the scriptures. Straw men's, misrepresentations, right? Grasping at straws the entire time, right? Not acknowledging via intellectual honesty the distinction between this so-called religion and the other ones. Of course, Yahshua hated religion. Religion is built upon the doctrine of men. Belief systems built upon the doctrine of men, which he says, do not follow men, and no man is good, right? So all I try to do is plant seeds for you, man. You should never just watch me and blindly believe everything I say either, right? But the point is that, like, religion isn't what this is. This is about following Yahshua and getting to the Father. He's the mediator to the Father. And the Father and him are one, but he's in the fleshly. We'll talk about that more in depth in the Trinity. I don't want the churchy and spiraling, bro, right? But I just want you to know that, like, you should be honest. If you're growing with him, right, your fruits will show. Eventually, you'll want to not call him out of his name, because I felt like I wasn't supposed to be calling him out of his name anymore. So it's not like, I'm just letting you guys know. It's just there's power in his name. They want to take that power from you, bro. Don't let them trick you. Don't let them trick you into not having this power. There's power in the name. How many times does it say there's power in the name? Power in the name, power in the name, power in the name. Because also at the end of John, it says there's not enough books in all of the earth to write down all of the things that Yahshua said and all of the magnificent things and the marvelous miracles that he did, right? There's not enough books in all the earth. So every single thing that is in those scriptures and in the Gospels are very, very important. Every single thing that's in there is very, very important, bro, because there was a ton more information. And so you need to take everything in there very seriously, bro. There's power in the name, bro. So they changed the name. Is it complicated? Is it complicated? Power in the name? Change the name, bro. There wasn't even a J to the 1400s. I don't really want to keep talking about the name. Y'all get it. Like, you need to pray about it yourself, man. Pray about it yourself and ask, like, bro, I did. He doesn't want you calling him out of his name, man. There's power in the name. So that's all there is to it. And, like, what you're going to find out is there has been thousands of years and billions and trillions of dollars used to meticulously undermine this one belief system, this one character. So for you to act like all religions are the same, you're just being intellectually dishonest. You sound like a Glober. Let me guess, level means curve now, and all of a sudden, like, pressure doesn't need containment, and the Earth's curving but looks flat, and the Earth's moving but we can't feel it moving, or we don't have any empirical evidence that it is moving, and all empirical evidence shows it's not moving. Are you going to start doing mental gymnastics like Globers now? Because we get fed up with when I have to go debate a Glober, and then they're just constantly doing mental gymnastics, right? Y'all, I know a lot of people that hate watching me debate because it's hard to watch the Glober, and it's painful to do it. It's painful to talk to these people. So you hate when the Glober does this when it comes to the Earth, but apparently it's no big deal for you to do it. Like, they didn't undermine the validity of any other text, bro. No one thinks this is weird. No one thinks it's weird that there's just one one specific belief system that they've attacked full-fledged, right? Because if you go to China, you can read the Quran, bro. They don't care if you read the Quran in China. They don't care if you read the Vedic texts in China. They don't care if you read the Sumerian, Akkadian, Babylonian tablets. They don't care. You're not allowed to read the scriptures, bro. What else did they take out? All of the contextual books that should be in the compilation of scriptures. What other belief system did they do that with? What other main character of a belief system did they change the name and change the birth date of? Are we gonna not be intellectually honest all of a sudden? Because as a flat earther, you've had to be intellectually honest to get where you are. So where does that stop? I don't get it. And yeah, I mean, we've covered the water, so your debates are legendary. Thank you, bro. I really don't like them, but sometimes I feel like I'm supposed to do it. Who has attacked it? The powers that shouldn't be, right? The Roman Catholic Church is the primary causal agent. But yeah, they've been attacked by everyone. Like, their entire country is attacking it now. Their entire country is attacking this, guys. Zeitgeist comes out and just makes up so many fairy tales and lies, blatant lies that are easy to fact check. Like they say, oh, look, here's the story of this old ancient religion that came way before Jesus. And look, it says it's every single story is exactly the same. He had 12 disciples. He was born of a virgin. He died and resurrected 3 days later. If you actually go put your pride down and decide to go fact check the little crabbler that is Bill Maher, go fact check him yourself like you did with the earth, right? You go fact check it yourself. You know what you find out? It says the story says that dude was born of a rock. That took a long time to debunk. It says he was born of a rock. Didn't say he had disciples at all, and never said he was resurrected. Well, let's look at the next one. Oh, he has 12 disciples. Let's go find. Oh, it doesn't say he has 12 disciples at all. It's very easy to debunk Zeitgeist. I have a stream on WitsitGetsIt called Zeitgeist Debunked. You can Google it. You can YouTube it. Zeitgeist Debunked. But people just want to believe that Yahshua isn't real. You know why? Because the scriptures give you a set of instructions, bro. You don't get to make up your own rules, right? If the scriptures are true, whoa, there's the linear code of ethics. It was laid out for you. What a shocker. The creator of all things that loves you and made you and cares about you and made this beautiful world for you didn't leave you hanging and actually showed you exactly what the instructions were to help you gain your metaphysical power. That's so crazy. That's wild, bro. I would think he just left us hanging. He doesn't intervene in our world. No, he just sits back and he hopes we figure it out while we're being deceived from all angles, and he didn't leave us anything to try to help us out. That makes sense. You're not a god, bro. You don't get to make your own rules up. This isn't complicated. You know that. You know that. If he created everything, there's a linear code of ethics. You didn't create everything, bro. So you don't get to create the linear code of ethics. That doesn't even make sense. And it wouldn't be linear if it's subjective. That's a contradictory claim, bro. So there you go, guys. Wake up, man. If that addresses you, it addresses you. Like that is honestly, it's Glober argument level dumb. Jesuits. Yeah, I have a stream exposing the Jesuits, Jesuit order. Should I be reading the King James version of the Bible? It's not a terrible version, sure. I mean, it says Jesus, it says Lord. That's a growth. I think the most important part is more important than the names themselves is you getting right with the Creator, you humbling yourself and you seeking the truth, and He'll reveal it to you. And when you're ready for certain things to be revealed, they'll be revealed. I still have a ton to learn. I know this all the way in the deepest core of my being that I know just a little bit, bro. And I still have to keep growing and proving myself worthy and showing discipline and circumcision of the heart and refinement and polishing myself, right? And addressing my convictions with discipline and growing to be stronger and more responsible to where more things are revealed to me, right? So that's how it's going to be for everybody. That's how it is. He reveals them to you when you're ready. So there's nothing too wrong with that. Like the Creator's told, Yah, He spoke to me through an NIV Bible. He answered my prayer through an NIV Bible, bro. 2 for 2 out of a 1,700-page Bible, directly answered my prayer. Probably just a coincidence. I've actually, people say stuff like, oh, there's a lot of people that have crazy experiences through books. Bruh, 1,700 pages, okay? I kept hearing in my head, not like a thunderous thought that wasn't mine or a voice that wasn't mine. It's like, how you have your own voice in your head, right? It was not me controlling the thought. It wouldn't go away. We are in the end, I want to use you. We are in the end, I want to use you. We are in the end, I want to use you for hours. It wouldn't go away. So I said the prayer. And I said, Lord, at the time, dear Lord, I feel like you're telling me we're in the end and you want to use me. If this is the case, show me an undeniable sign. I had like 5 anomalous things happen the next day regarding like scriptures and regarding like the Creator. And I brushed them all off. Then I took a shower after work, after I was working all day. Then I came home, took a shower, went and saw the NIV Bible with some dust on it because I never opened it up. Someone had gifted it to me and my family, right? Opened it up. Straight to Ezekiel 38, the end time war, bro. Like the war of all wars, bro. Okay. I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know what it was. I read it and I'm like, wow, this is crazy, bro. I felt the Spirit. And I was like, and of course I was a newbie, right? I didn't really know what was going on. I was just flooding myself with emotion because I couldn't explain to myself analytically how that could happen. And I started thinking about it analytically and statistically. How could this happen? I'm trying to explain it away. I'm coming up with better examples of explanations than people do whenever they grasp at straws, whenever I tell them the story, because they don't want to believe the scriptures, again, because they want to be their own gods, right? Or they want to believe that the Eastern world would have to be left under the bus. No, the Eastern world where this all came from, bruh. They know about Yahshua too. I don't know why people want to give that straw man as if it's valid. It's ridiculous, right? But anyway, just like the Native Americans, like, dude, they knew about Yah too, bro. They knew about the one true Creator too, bro. You've been lied to, guys. You've been lied to, okay? There were the ones that had the order of the commands and the instructions, and there were the ones that didn't. That's it, right? So my point is, he answered my prayer through an NIV Bible. So then the next, I just like kept pushing. I'm like, this is pretty crazy. It's a little too real to not recognize, right? Like, I should at least be honest enough to admit that that's pretty much impossible, but maybe just a coincidence. And then my metaphysical capabilities, my subconscious was so strong, I was able to somehow open that up. That's how desperate I was to think that I wasn't wrong for all these years when I said, oh, there's 4,200 religions. Your religion is right. Of course, there's a creator. There's no other way everything could exist. But, you don't know what the creator is. And religion is just a primitive attempt of humans to explain the inexplicable, right? And I would say it forever, over and over. And I just didn't want to admit that maybe I was wrong about it. And maybe, even though I was put in this Baptist church and they don't really believe in the book and they act as if it's a fairy tale they just pretend to believe in for appearances, right? Because I live in the Bible Belt. That doesn't mean that the scriptures aren't true. That just means that man has messed it up. I didn't want to admit any of this, bro. I had a whole bunch of pride, right? Because my family's wrong. I ask questions these people can't answer. I couldn't even look into the idea. I couldn't even fully entertain the idea. I was going to have to swallow my pride and go back and admit, whoa, I'm going to have to re-examine these scriptures and come full circle back to them, right? But so then I started feeling convicted about petty things, bro. And I'm like, wow, dude, what's going on? Why do I feel weird about this? Why do I feel bad about these things I've been doing for literally my whole adult life, right? I'm like, these are just petty things. They don't harm other people, right? Like, I don't see why I feel bad about them all of a sudden. And then I kept feeling them, kept feeling bad, kept feeling convicted about things. And I started trying to cut them out, but it started getting hard. I started getting real tempted. I started getting like temptation thrown at me left and right. Like real attractive girls want to hang out. And I'm like, what's going on? I can't do this. I don't even know. What am I just tripping? I don't get it. I'm completely sober, but I'm tripping. Like, I don't know what's going on. So then 5 days later, I just felt like I should get away out of my house with my roommate. So I went and parked at a park at like 6 a.m. I'm sitting there and then the sun starts rising. I say a prayer and I say, dear Lord, please help me apply discipline to my convictions. Amen. And then I opened up that same 1,700 page Bible straight to a verse in Proverbs that talks about, straight to it, bro, straight to it. And it says, he who despises discipline hates himself. That's just a coincidence, guys. If that's the best you got, you're just not being honest. It isn't a coincidence. It is. And I felt the Spirit both times. 2 for 2, guys. 2 prayers, 2 direct answers, and 2 direct, perfect answers that I opened it up to out of the 1,700 page book. My whole point of all that was an NIV Bible, bro. So he can speak to you through the scriptures. Obviously, you don't need to be reading the Message, and I don't like the NIV at all, right? KJV is pretty good. ESV is good. ESV is a good place to begin because it's much easier to understand. Like these people that are real legalistic and want to judge down and act like they're better than you because they now read a certain type of scriptures, like, don't listen to them, man. ESV is a good place to begin. He will speak to you where you need to be spoken to through those scriptures, I promise. Okay? And also the book of Enoch is good. I read the scriptures version now. Okay? And I also still like the ESV, and I like to cross-reference different scriptures. I like to go back and try to look at the Hebrew and the etymology, et cetera, et cetera. There's a whole bunch of books that have been removed, not just the apocryphal text, which is just a term that they came up with to kind of like undermine the validity of them, as if to describe that they weren't quite as important as the other books, right? But this is the Luciferian spirit, the Antichrist spirit, the Luciferian spirit leading these people throughout the history of the timeline history of the world so that they could set up this great deception in the end. Now we don't even have the books that describe everything that happens in the end because they tried to remove them, but they couldn't fully remove them. You do have access to them, right? They're just not in that 66 book compilation, right? And I call it the scriptures. I try not to call it the Bible unless sometimes I use the word God and Bible, and I'll even acknowledge the word Jesus because I want to reach people. Like you don't judge people and be legalistic about it, but we all have to grow together, man. We need to get to the truth. We need to stop being so like stubborn about it. And so KJV is not a bad place to stay. Like start if you can fully understand it, but be honest with yourself. If you can't understand some of that old English thoueth, right? Read ESV. It's not a big deal. Just pray about it and cross-reference things. But if you pray for discernment, understanding, and you read those scriptures, then he's going to speak to you. He's going to reveal the truth to you. Seek it and you will find it. This is not some really complicated trick, dude. Only humans overcomplicate it when they try to go understand the motivation of the creator. They try to go place themselves as if they're in some authoritative figure to cast judgment on the creator of all things, as opposed to humbling themselves and seeking the truth and realizing if this isn't true, worst case, I just wasted a little bit of time. Worst case, I was just talking to the ceiling. Worst case, it isn't real. People can't do that. They'd rather convince themselves they know it isn't real before they actually pursue the truth. That's the most frustrating part. That's why I go on these rants because, dude, all you have to do is swallow your pride and seek it, bro. That's all you have to do. I did it, so you can't tell me that that isn't the truth. NLV, what's your opinion? I don't know too much about it, to be honest. My opinion is probably like the same thing. The only one I really say don't read at all for sure is like the Message. But there are numerous versions now that like they take out like gender pronouns, right? They take gender fluid pronouns. They try to make everything female. Like they take out entire verses. But honestly, the KJV has taken out entire verses. The KJV has just raped the Hebrew translation in numerous different ways. And dude, the Grabblers, motivated by the Luciferian spirit, they don't even realize what they're doing. They have done a really good job of misrepresenting the true messages of the scriptures, because in Hebrew, just the subject verb agreement not being accurately denoted will change the entire context of something. You're not going to stop learning, bro. You're not going to stop learning. If you're not willing to actually go back to the etymology to the Hebrew and try to check it and cross-reference it, though, then, this is kind of like the name thing, right? Like, you're just going to sit there idly and be complacent. I know people like that too, but my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6, you must continue to seek the truth. You're never going to know everything, which means you should be in a constant pursuit of truth until your final breath, bro, if you're doing what he tells us to do. You don't know everything. The NKJV is the KJV with language that's easier to get for 20th century English. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I actually think this is crazy, but sometimes the ESV actually is better. But yeah, I mean, whatever you like, bro. Whatever, just pray. Like I use the Scriptures version now, because of the names in it. There you go. So it's like, let's see here. See how it'll have like the actual, let's see if I can see that. Yeah, it'll have the Hebrew there. See that? That's pretty cool, but I don't suggest that everyone gets that. I have an ESV that I can't wait to grab from Tennessee when we run by my house. It's got a line engraved on the front of it. I like to have numerous different types personally. I never subscribed to this channel unless it was named something else before. Yeah, it was. It wasn't named Globebusters Activism. It was named Globebusters D-Live. Pray for discernment, indeed. Yep. Use a good concordance if you need to go deeper. Agreed. Humans are dumb. Absolutely. And actually, I was talking about this on the Why Would They Lie podcast that I jumped on as a guest. And which go show them some support and love and listen to the podcast. But I was basically, it's just, the idea that kind of a lot of people know, but sometimes people equate ignorance with stupidity. But in fact, sometimes the efficient acknowledgement of what cannot be known is intelligence, right? Because you're just going to waste your time looking at something that you just simply can't know. It's just like what people do with the scriptures. You're wasting your time trying to answer a question that requires you be in the very perspective of the Creator. And until you can wrap your mind around it and fully understand it in your little carnal mind flooded with arrogance where everything's about you, The whole world's just about you and your mind. And if it doesn't fit within your mind, then it doesn't matter. You're trying to understand something that you simply cannot understand in the carnal mind. And the scriptures break this down, dude. You're not going to be able to understand everything in the carnal mind. You need the Spirit to reveal the discernment to you. I read 10 different translations. Yeah, that's a good way to be, is cross-reference everything. It's not like, you know how some people try to read, they want to be able to say, I read the Bible 5 times this year. Or you can just take your time, fully digest it, cross-reference everything, pray for interpretation and contextual understanding, and then move on. That's what you should do. Like, the scriptures are layered, bro. You'll read it 500 times, and you're still going to get something new out of it if you're honest. I like the Sefer in the scriptures. Yeah, the Sefer, like, combines a bunch of the other books that have been removed also. Of course, you can get all this stuff online now, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really think it's important to have a physical copy, too, that you can carry around with you. There's something special about it. Get alone, get the physical copy, get away from the black mirror screens. If you can get into nature, pray. Dude, I know some of you guys are, like, probably like, dang, I don't know, like, oh, you're just preaching so much now. Like, dude, just go to a different channel, bro. No one cares. I love the Septuagint for the Old Testament. Yeah, it's not bad. The Greek Septuagint, like a Hebrew version of the Gospel of Matthew just came out, and it's got some pretty glaring differences between the Greek. So a lot of the people that are Christians, you guys need to humble yourselves, because you're pushing some people away whenever you're like, every single thing in this KJV is perfect. No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. Be honest about it. Do not lie, bro. The last thing the Creator wants you to do is lie and pretend it's on His behalf. Water was brilliant. Was a brilliant stream. You should make apple juice for the next one. I'm not sure what that means, bro. This is actually some iced coffee in here, bro. I think we have a gamma in here, but I'm just going to ignore him. Our plan is to quit weed, cigs, and travel everywhere I can while I can. Yeah, I quit smoking cigs a while back. They're terrible for you, but I know it's not very easy to do. And yeah, I quit smoking weed. You can do it, bro. You can definitely do it if I can do it. I got the Ethiopian Bible for $20 on Amazon. Has all the books taken out except for Jasher. Pretty awesome. Check it out. You're awesome, bro. Thanks, dude. You're awesome, bro. What's your location? It's on masqueradetour.com, but I'm in Wakua Springs State Park. But we're leaving tomorrow. Preach. It taught me there is no creator separate from its creation. What? Here we go with this. You're so woke. You're saying there's not a creator outside of creation? Well, the necessary antecedent to creation is a creator, so how could the creation be created without a creator? That just literally makes no sense whatsoever. Is the book of Jeremiah written in future tense or present? I'm asking for a friend of mine, and we are basically debating the issue. Please help. I don't know if anyone else has any insight into that. I don't feel comfortable actually picking one way or the other. I have to do a study into it. Is Jeremiah written in the present? In the future tense or a present tense? I don't know. Actually, I will go ahead and say, though, like, it's very possibly the answer could be both, because the scriptures are very, very layered. I'm struggling with smokes. Really, dude, just an oral fixation that you've based on certain timelines, right? So you need to replace it with maybe like doing something like push-ups or something like that, or just switch to a vape and then ease your way off of that. I know a lot of people are going to spiral about that, but dude, cigarettes are super bad for you. But like, it's like, oh, I just ate, I'm supposed to smoke a cigarette now. It's just like a habit thing. It's just like an oral fixation and like a habit of like basically tradition that you have, right? Like, oh, I took a shower, I'm supposed to smoke a cigarette. They're super bad. Quit smoking cigarettes last July, cold turkey. Now I believe y'all wants me to put down the gun. That's what I'm talking about, Danny. Do it, bro. You're going to have way more vivid dreams, and you're going to be able to communicate with the creator better. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. The maker of this world had to chop itself up. Energy can't be created or destroyed. So because you can't do it in your physical body within this physical perceivable world, the creator of all things that clearly has to exist out of its creation to create something couldn't create energy.
you're really grasping at straws now, bro. You think that was like a real enlightening thing. And I'm sorry, I'm just bluntly honest on this channel. That's why my disclaimer says caution, known to cause gammas to spiral, because I just really don't hold back from what I think. But to me, it sounds like you just want to be the little special boy that thinks that they know everything, and you think that you can be a creator, and this way you don't have to acknowledge any linear code of ethics. I've already addressed this in the stream. You may be late. All scripture is timeless. Anything that happened can happen again. It only happened once, and there's no reason to apply it in life. There you go. Both. Got it. Thank you, brother. Yeah, I would say probably both, honestly. Like a lot of the scriptures are like that. If you're struggling with smoking, just say to yourself how much it's bad for you and how much you'll be fresh, clean. I used to smoke too, man. Weed, cigs, vape. There you go. And also, like, certainly with cigs, bro, like, you just, like, you're going to smell terrible all the time. And, like, when you quit smoking for a little bit, you'll quickly realize, like, how disgusting it is. You'll smell a cigarette and it'll just gross you out. I'm going to try to drop smoking bud today. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, bro. I'm inspired. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome to hear, bro. Because hey, I smoked it since I was like 13, bro. But yeah, I definitely don't think this is the strongest the beast system has ever been built, and they're legalizing weed everywhere. And every rapper tells you how cool it is to smoke weed. Yo, I'm trying to meet up whenever you can, when you come through California to see my Uncle Jaron. Awesome, bro. Yeah, I mean, we'll be in California in a little while. I'm going to make the timeline, like the tour's going to be much more expedited, guys. Like, I know we've been in Florida forever. If you've really been following closely, you know why. And I couldn't not go and tape this launch where they're sending people in low Earth orbit. But right after that, we're shooting up north. It's going to be a lot quicker of a tour unless something pops up. But so, yeah, that's the plan. And I'm going to start laying out dates, and we're going to be on a schedule. You're going to know when we're in your town. You're going to have a few weeks heads up, or at least a couple weeks heads up, so you can meet up. We're going to have really cool meetups in state parks everywhere that we go. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a really awesome tour because I was told to continue it, and that's what we're going to do, and we're going to crush it. And then we'll come back across west, and then we'll definitely set it up with Jaron. I'll give him a heads up so we can set up a big meetup in Cali, bro. So you believe Yah violated the second law of thermodynamics? You don't even seem to know the order of the laws of thermodynamics, so you may be out of your league here, brother. At Wit, thanks for the encouragement. Yeah, of course, bro, no doubt. I roll tobacco every now and then. I enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, there could be worse things, bro. If you roll, like, organic tobacco, it's certainly not as bad as smoking a cigarette, but you know, I'll just be honest, man. Addictions are just not good, man. We all got to work on them. We all have things we have to work on, man. Let me see. What are you talking about, Bitter Bear? I have prayed to be protected in my dreams, but they just come back. It's so hard. Would love help. Well, I'll shoot a prayer up for you, man. I mean, you want to specify, or maybe you don't want to do it publicly. You know, you can always email me at WitsitGetsIt, bro. You're one of my main homies on here, but I'm not sure what you mean. What dreams you're talking about? Yah created that law. Actually, man created that law. It's a description of what naturally happens in the physical perceivable world, but until you can actually tell me the entirety of the characteristics of the metaphysical world that extends beyond the physical world, then dun, dun, dun. But yeah, you're right, actually. I think you see, like, Yah created that law within our perceivable material world, maybe what you're saying, or maybe you're like the gamma I thought I saw earlier. Rob Skiba got rid of Shadow Person who tried to strangle him. Yeah, you can denounce, make sure you denounce generational curses in the name of Yahshua, and watch out for anybody that's sketchy and not a real genuine believer that you've tested the spirit that give you physical objects. Yeah, and then just denounce the entities in the name of Yahshua. I mean, I'm pretty sure my boy is pretty based. He knows these things. So I would like for him to specify, but maybe he doesn't want to do it on here. Good to hear you again, though, bro. Don't be a stranger to 24/7. I won't, man. You feels me. I've been on there a few times in the last few days. Is it cool if I share my Discord for Vader Austin? I don't care, bro. Gravy Train. Yeah. I figure it's been a while since I've just kind of read the chats and chill with y'all for a while, so why not finish the water stream with it? My brain says I should stop. My body says one will not hurt. You know. it's all good, man. You got to continue to grow. But yeah, discipline's a very, very important aspect of your growth. Like, when I got locked up, I started doing push-ups. I'm kind of slacking. I'm going to have to do a ton today to keep up. But I try to do 500 push-ups at least a day now. So if you do that, it's going to help you with this a lot. I can assure you. So just try and work your way up to 500 push-ups a day and then keep going. And I do the 500. Now I do them where, you can get the push-up handles that like they elevate it so you get a more full extension, which are much more difficult. Yeah, and you pump your brain gets flooded with all kinds of endorphins whenever you do that, and you'll find out quickly that, man, you don't really need these stupid man-made addictive rabbit holes. Addictions are very difficult to shake. Yeah, you need to replace them typically with something healthy. Smoke to avoid freaky dreams. When I stopped smoking, I started getting vivid dreams, but they're not necessarily freaky, and I feel like I can communicate with the Creator better. The last dream I had when I wasn't smoking, I was shown me choking my son to death with a cord until he was purple and blue. I couldn't stop. It was horrid. Whoa, bro. That is crazy for sure. They definitely do numb your dreams. If you don't feel convicted about it, like I said, I'm not saying I know that like everyone should stop smoking. I think that weed's like a trick, bro, because again, the beat system is the strongest it's ever been. They're legalizing weed everywhere. But I just know for a fact that he doesn't want me to smoke. And of course, I'm a TI, right? And not the rapper that says remedial dumb things over and over, but like a target individual. And I can't give them any ammunition to come and try and like find some nonsense way to like take my freedom away or stop what he has in store for me, what he wants me to go out and do. So I know I'm supposed to stop. I'm not like telling anyone else. I'm not judging anyone or anything, but for me, I'm able to communicate with the Creator better. I feel like I'm able to feel him better, feel his presence better, resonate with other people better. I'm much more alert and on my P's and Q's. I'm more productive. I don't need as much sleep, and I have more vivid dreams. So there's that. Maybe, yeah. I'll shoot up a prayer for you, man. That's definitely something that he can help you with, I would imagine. And again, like you want to watch out with anyone that may be not being completely honest with you, maybe bringing something into around you, or maybe some type of media or objects or something. Like, when you're a strong believer, you get attacked, bro. And it might just be like some type of like subconscious doorway that's let in via smoking, where they're able to try to create some way that makes you want to not quit. That's honestly what I think. Stop smoking weed, homies. It's not good. I agree. Actually, I'm not too fond of it at this point. Creator always trying to trick us with his plants. This dude is such a gamma, bro. You're getting blocked. You're getting blocked, bro. All right, how about this? Actually, I'm not gonna block you yet. I just showed everyone who you are, but on accident. If you say any more gamma comments, you're just gonna get blocked, bro. This is clearly not the place for you. You've been given like 10 opportunities. Why do you think the NIV is a bad translation? There are just certain parts where they've like blatantly taken out entire sentences. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the NIV is just not my favorite. They mistranslate the Hebrew a little bit worse, but to be honest with you, the KJV does too. So like I said, man, if it resonates with you, you can commute and you can understand it well. Everyone's different places, and I think you should cross-reference different translations the whole time. So like I'm not saying, again, the Creator spoke to me through the NIV, so I'm just, my personal opinion is it doesn't do as well at translating the scriptures. We will temporarily break the connection with the Holy Spirit. I'm not going to say that I know that, but it seems that way with me for sure. Huge hug to you, Austin. Thank you. Much love. Hug accepted. Oh, I think we might have just got sick. Pharmaceuticals can make you have crazy dreams. Try to get off their drugs if you take any. Definitely no synthetic drugs, that's for sure. Proud of you, Austin. Thank you, man. Wrong saloon pal, big time. Be sober, the Apostle Paul said. Yeah, and of course you want to keep a sober mind because the enemy comes around like a lion looking to devour. Trust me, dude, I was the best at justifying weed in the world. and I would like literally take like one hit, you know what I'm saying? I actually did really rein it into an extreme level of moderation. Like, oh, I'll take like one, maybe two hits for like hours and hours, but he told me to stop, and I felt like he wanted me to stop, and I promised him I would stop, and so I'm definitely going to keep my promise. Where y'all headed next? We're headed to like Titusville area to watch the launch from Kennedy Space Center. We're at Kennedy Space Center where they're saying they're putting a crew of, I think, 4 up in low Earth orbit with the help of NASA. And we're going to tape it with infrared and regular P900. So I had to buy I really didn't want to do that, but I bought that tripod for, it's supposed to be pretty nice for like $100. We're going to go pick it up at Best Buy tomorrow and then head there. And we had to be there early. 6:11 a.m. is the launch. But you know how they are. They might find out we're coming. I'm not even joking, guys. They might seriously cancel it and say that the wind blew a little too hard. Because, you know, when you're sending rockets up into a physics-defying medium where there's all kinds of contradictory vectors and it's really intense and you're going crazy speeds, you really got to worry about the 10-mile-per-hour wind. It could just shut everything down. Where they had to lie about it in negatives to make it illegal in the first place. I honestly think that might be a really good deception, but I could be wrong. I just think that they really wanted to get everyone addicted and built upon this synthetic man-made medicine trick first with pharmakia, and then now they're gonna legalize all kinds of drugs. The beast system is being built, bro. Like now everyone's already like addicted to this pharmakia and this like illusion of the need for synthetic medicine so they can ease back in the abuse of plants being altered by men. If you want to act like that 27% THC bud really grew out of the ground naturally like that, let's be real, we all know it didn't. What book of Enoch? Where's it at? I thought the same thing, bro. The gravy train has dropped off the passenger. I'm trying to see. Someone asked about the book of Enoch. So I consider most people that smoke weed still sober. Okay. Like I said, I'm not interested in the argument. You know, I'm not casting judgment on anybody, bro. Like out of everything that you can do, it's definitely probably like the least detrimental maybe, but I was shown to quit. That's all I can tell you guys. Thanks for these awesome streams, really helping me. Sweet, bro. That's why I do it. It's hard if you saw that dream I had, you would at least understand why it's a hard decision. Dude, trust me, I definitely understand. That sounds terrible, bro. That sounds terrible. But the enemy maybe realizing how much stronger of a connection you have with the creator, and he's trying to get you scared, bro. Like I'm just spitballing here. I don't know. What do you think about the Level documentary coming? Dude, sounds cool. I'm all for it. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Enoch 1 is the only scripture verified of all the Enochs. Enochs 2 and 3 are about Cain's son Enoch, not about Noah's granddad. Dang, my boy Bill's crushing. Exactly. 2 and 3 are trash. They're garbage. But Enoch 1 is about the 7th from Adam, Noah's great-grandfather. And it's scripture. Yeah, Yahshua himself said it was. Be sober and vigilant. When you're drunk or high, you're not all there. You're blocking out the spirit and hardening your heart. I cannot disagree with you. Would you recommend reading Enoch before Genesis? Personally, yes, I would. That's why Enoch 6 just breezes past the giants. See that the entire audience would already have the contextual understanding of his great-grandfather's dream that he was given. I need to ask you a question about Yahshua. We have the same view as far as I know. I want to know your thoughts in more detail. May I call you on Discord? Yeah, maybe. You can definitely message me on Discord. I'm definitely not going to want to talk after the stream. I'm going to be super tired. But we can talk at some point, yeah. Why not? We can go in a private room on Discord or something too. It's really easy. Need some weights on the tripod legs. Yep, that's what I hear. I do need them. I don't know the best process of doing that or how much they cost or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Tripod will help you crush. Yeah, for sure. You know how it is. I'm just like, it's all good. I try not to trip out money. I know that like y'all wants me out here, and that's just something that we need to go and like try to expose these little liars, which I find this interesting. I can't remember where I heard this, but maybe that Flat Earth fellow or Dr. Law on his stream, I think. But so you got NASA, which is an anagram for Satan, but the T is missing. Well, whenever they do the rocket launch, it's T minus 3, 2, 1. They minus the T, and then you have the anagram for Satan. Probably just a coincidence. And then they have, of course, the little tongue. I don't want to leave people hanging on D Live. Is it going live on D Live? Oh, it's not even playing on D Live. Is it? Wait. Oh, it is on D Live. Greek, Hebrew, Interlinear Bible. Okay. NIV is the worst. I agree. It's one of the worst, personally. I'm so sorry to hear that. That was not to me. Shout out to Redford Bear, always being a legend in the D Live chat. Thank you for the lemons, my man Anthony, and my boy Alberto Bear, and my boy Real Vader. Thank you for the lemons. Be like water. Water retains information. Yes, it does. It has a memory, and it seems to be sentient, and its molecular structure changes. Sorry, I know I've been kind of forgetting about the D Live chat here recently, but I'm going to start reading y'all too. Don't worry about it. So if you got any questions on D Live, hit me. I'm going to read you too. Let's see. Have you done a video on Atlantis already? I think I definitely covered it some on WitsitGetsIt. I don't know if I did a whole stream about it. Not a bad idea, my man. Maybe I'll do a whole entire stream on Atlantis. I might have already done it, though. I can't remember. Actually, maybe I did. I think I may have. I'll have to get back to you on that. That could be a lot of gravy. Of course, Atlantis being the antediluvian era, the original New World Order, and then Babylon, the second attempt, which was, of course, halted by the creator. So Yah stepped in and made them speak different languages and go different directions. Of course, he stepped in Atlantis too, right? Because that's when the flood happened. And of course, a lot of people were like, oh man, a flood. Oh man, you're going to drown people, whatever you can do to justify somehow not having to swallow your pride and get right with the creator. But yeah, I mean, they were basically all killing each other and sunken in depravity, and there was no pure flesh left. At least it appears that the Hebrew says it actually could be literally genetically pure, but at the least they had nothing but evil thoughts continuously, and they were killing themselves constantly with civil war and wiping each other out anyway. And so then, the garden was taken up out of the earth. So the garden's taken out of the earth through the firmament. And so at the same time, simultaneously with the window being open so the garden could be taken out, that's why the angel had to actually protect it. Water's coming in. So bang, you use creation yourself. He used the creation itself that he had created to cast the judgment and to remove this so then it could come in at the end whenever New Jerusalem comes in as a replacement. It's very beautiful what he does. He's way ahead of all these people that try to judge him. It's just actually laughable. Oh my word, I always wonder what T minus meant. Wow. Yeah, isn't that crazy? T minus, they minus the T from NASA, which would make it Satan. Are you getting back on the WitsitGetsIt channel? I should be allowed to go back live on WitsitGetsIt channel on like Sunday, I think. Sunday or Monday. It'll be the 2 weeks is up. So yeah, I will. If they terminate it, they terminate it, bruh. Still hugging. Sweet. Thank you for the embrace. Was it in Enoch where the elements talked to Yah, asking him to destroy man like the earth and water we're talking? I'm not positive. What's the speed of sound at the North Pole versus the equator? I don't know. Can you tell me the definitive speed of sound anyway? What is sound? Or if it's just a reverberation of vibration within the medium itself? Oh, it probably is. We do actually know the efficacy of propagation of sound waves is directly proportionate to the density of the medium. That's how we know the background is significantly more dense than the air. Have a feeling you're a glober trying to troll, but you just got decapitated probably. And added the T onto the word plane. Yeah, they love their T's, bro. Of course, T, they love to talk about and show how Yahshua was crucified. I think most, if not all, monoliths are pre-flood. Very possible. Very possible. And that's why it was scattered throughout the entire world. As the original One World Order, they started getting ready to try to build another one, and it got halted. But then there will, in fact, be a third and final and temporarily successful one. It'll be the Great Deception, a deception like the Earth has never seen, which means it'll be greater than Atlantis, which is kind of hard to wrap your mind around if you really read the stories of Atlantis, which we kind of covered. And I know when we were getting into like the whole Aryan race, etc., I kind of covered like Atlantis. They believe that they get track their blood back to the Atlanteans. Looking through Amazon for the Book of Enoch. Any good links? Much obliged. Yeah, it's the Hermania, Hermenia translation. That's the one that I read. I like it. And it's only like $17. It's got it's actually got the script on the front of it. If anyone else has a suggestion for it, then you can also read it at sacredtext.com. Yep, you can read it online if you prefer. Sound is a vibratory perturbation of the air. Dun dun dun. Or of the ether. Well, within the air. Yeah, within the perceivable version of sound or vibration. Like it's a perceivable spectrum of vibration. So, yeah, it manifests physically in the air that we can perceive it just like light, but it is still intertwined with the background medium. Those are globe killing questions. Oh, okay, sorry. I mean, I don't know many people that ask me what the speed of sound is at the equator. That sounds like a somewhat of just begging for a pseudoscientific answer, but not to make assumptions, my man. Yeah, you can kill the globe in better ways. I will say that's my blunt response. Can anyone tell me what Enoch 57 means? I don't have a photographic memory of the Book of Enoch, so I'm messing with you, bro. Thank you, bro. Yeah, no problem. That's the one I got. I like it. I actually sent it to someone in jail. So I'll tell you all this story, maybe wrapping it up. I'm getting tired. And then I'll check and see if there are any donations in a few minutes, and I'll read them off. But so I was in jail, and I was talking to this guy, and I let him vent all about how the Bible's been super corrupted by the Roman Catholic Church, and religion's been used to brainwash and control people into being submissive to the government and then murdering tons of people, etc. I'm like, hey, bro, I agree with you. You're making great points. I agree. You're right. And I started telling about the Book of Enoch and how it changes the entire context. And if you fully understand this part of the story, and that there were the Nephilim and stuff, you'll understand a lot more context, and you'll understand what was going on. And he was like taken back. He's like, wow, like he listened to me, he didn't get triggered, and then he had like a good answer, and he told me a whole different story about how Yahshua was basically saying, look, these instructions give you tons of metaphysical power. You can do all kinds of things that I did and greater things. And it's a beautiful story when you really hear it laid out the way it's supposed to be told, which is not the way that we're like ever told in church. And then I'm like, you know what, bro? I'll help you get the book, man. While you're in here, I'll send you the Book of Enoch, and I'll send you a scriptures version of the scriptures. And he's like, I'd really prefer if you just told me you'll try to, And I'm like, nah, bro, I told you I'll send it to you, bro. So I'll send it to you. He asked for another book too. And he kept saying that. I'm like, bro, just shake my hand. I looked him in the eyes. I'm like, I'll send you the books, bro. I'll send you the Book of Enoch, the scriptures version, the other book you asked for. He kept saying, like, day after day, we'd be talking. He'd be like, look, bro, it's not a big deal. But don't promise me you're going to send them or anything. Just tell me you'll try to. It's no big deal. It's all good. I'm like, dude, I'm going to send you the books, bro. I keep my word. But one of the first things I did when I got out, I bought him the books on Amazon and sent them to him. Dude, he called me so excited from jail, bro. And like 3 or 4 people jumped on the phone to talk to me. That was pretty cool. I had that deal where he was working out. I was like, Yahshua HaMashiach. I'm like, it's awesome, bro. Water does not lie, flat and level. Yeah, exactly. I'll do a summary of the stream just a sec. All right, so basically becoming water, and one of the books removed, I believe it was Jubilees. He let you know that on the first day that he made the angels, and when he made the angels, he made them with spirit and water. We were made with spirit and dirt. That's why we are in different forms. We're in a physical vessel that is confined, that actually degrades over time. Eventually we die because of the fall. We are not like that of the angels, but in heaven we are like that of the angels. Yahshua actually explains this in, I believe it is Matthew, whenever the Sadducees try to corner him into catching him on some like gotcha question. And it's actually another proof of the scriptures. So we are like that of the angels. The angels were made with spirit and water. So we're basically in the process of refinement of a test, although an open book test, to earn our metaphysical powers after we leave this physical vessel, which there's a misnomer that you float up to heaven immediately. Everyone's like, RIP, homie. No, you're looking at me. No, he's not looking down on you. That's not what the scriptures say. You go into basically rest, where there's a huge chasm between those that got right with Yahshua and those that did not. Okay. And then there's a singular judgment day and a singular resurrection day. So anyway, then you get your metaphysical power. You're like that of the angels, who are made with, again, spirit and water. So they're able to change form, to be able to look different physical forms, change on like a drop of a dime. And they're able to go different places super fast, be over there, be over here, and then change. We're not like that. Of course, we're limited to the physical vessel, physical confinement, because we were made with dirt. So then, of course, you'll look into the fact they tell you that this with this subatomic scale pseudoscientific fairy tale that 2 little hydrogen atoms got with the water or got with the oxygen atom and then boom, boom, water. But it's just stupid pseudoscientific nonsense. Subatomic scale in entirety, whenever they claim materialistic claims, is nonsense. This is because of a need to quantify things. You cannot quantify the immaterial. If they acknowledge the etheric realm beyond the physical, then the metaphysical automatically decapitates any notion that there isn't a creator. So they simply can't allow you to know that. It also decapitates the heliocentric model and the claimed emotions within. So we know that these subatomic scales of material, little balls bouncing around, is not true. And there's something very special about water. And we'll watch the video again, just try to close it up for everyone in conclusion. But water seems to basically be sentient. And if you speak loving words, and it changes the molecular structure in a beautiful way. And if you speak hatred towards it, the water doesn't seem nearly as beautiful on the molecular scale. So water is very important. We're made up of mostly water. The earth is mostly water. The water was here in the beginning, which is interesting because, of course, he made the angels from the water and the spirit. And then he actually built the firmaments, and he made the firmament, which seemed to take a long time. It's very magnificent, right? And, of course, he built the firmament that separates the heavenly waters from the earthly waters. There's something very important about water. Actually, at one point, the entire earth was actually wiped out with water. Right. And this is, of course, probably, because they had like a one world order sunken into complete depravity where entire humanity was deceived and Noah was the only pure one left. This is, of course, because the waters came down, bucked the system. So, yeah, water is very important. We are to be like water. We are in a state of becoming water in the sense that we are becoming capable of being trusted with our metaphysical power, where we'll be in a water-like state or a more water-like state. What were we like in the pre-fall state? I mean, I don't know. I can't really. Again, we were made with dirt, but we will eventually attain this power where we're in this metaphysical state that is much more like water, or at least has water-like capabilities. We know that water constantly can change states. It's a magnificent thing. It's a beautiful thing. You've been lied to about it in the pseudoscientific, materialistic, nihilistic worldview that you see everything through. And this confinement has confused you so that you don't actually realize the magnificence of things around you. We are to be like water, right? Because it constantly flows. It's just a beautiful thing, right? A perpetual, beautiful manifestation of energy. And so there you go. That's basically a summary of the stream. And I will show you guys, if you haven't already seen. Many of you are already here, but I think it's a pretty beautiful thing. It's just a few minutes. I'm going to speed it up a little bit more. But I will show you the molecular structure of water and how it's affected. So I can also go look at the chats. Go look at the donations, see what we got. So share. Over here. Dun, 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 dun. So you're not really able to read it very well because I'm going to speed it up even faster. The abyss had sentient water beings. Well, that sounds like some gravy. I have to look into it. Or the Hermania translation of Enoch. That's awesome, bro. I love it. Apparently, Adam and Eve were really tall. I do believe that they lied and inverted that like always. And they told you this fairy tale, pseudoscientific fairy tale about evolution, which we all know is nonsense, about how everything is actually getting bigger as humans evolve and that we're getting taller, and humans used to be way shorter and live way shorter lifespans. Actually, used to live way longer and appears to be much bigger. There were bigger trees, bigger oxygen content in the atmosphere. One of the rebellious forms of the Nephilim that were giants even bigger than the original humans were to actually cut down the trees. Really take this in, guys. Look at that. Always be appreciative of things, man. Boom. Pretty awesome video. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap up the stream. Austin, what do you think of all the birds in Florida? Oh, I love them being in the Florida Keys. The end of March was the best 8 days of my life. I missed a lot. I can't really say the same about the experience I had in the Keys, but it is certainly a beautiful place, and it's just, you know, like always, Yah's creation seems to continuously blow me away the more that I take in the details of it. And yeah, it's beautiful. All of the birds, all the things you can see, that crystal clear water, like giant sea turtles and huge fish and everything like that. It's very beautiful. Thank you, Austin. Yeah, of course, no problem. What's your refutation to those who say the book of Enoch is Antichrist or the book of Enoch is not Holy Scripture written by inspired authors? Well, Enoch is one of the only two people, which arguably are, you know, what is going to be one of the two witnesses in the end, because they haven't died yet, right? Then they die and they come back. That was actually taken up and then given a dream about the beginning to the end. He was the great grandfather of Noah, so Noah could have clearly taken, or at least known via oral teaching, what his dream was, right? He could have just taken the script. Some say that he was actually the first one to be taught how to write. And Yahshua himself, the Messiah, said that it was Scripture. So, you know, good luck trying to tell me it's Antichrist when Yahshua himself said it was Scripture. All right, let me check and see if there are any donations so I don't leave anyone hanging. In a world. My boy Michael Lyon, always helping a brother out. For much love, brother. Michael Lyon here. Thank you, man. Much love. Thank you for the donation. Definitely helps. I haven't even been charging my phone this whole time, but we made it anyway. But thank you, bro. Much love, bro. All right. Donations covered. And I'll catch up with you on another stream tomorrow. Don't know what it's going to be about. We're going to float for a little bit while we're here. Why not? We're going to float the springs, and then we're going to head out, run by Best Buy, pick up that tripod. Then we're going to head to like Titusville area, Kennedy Space Center, post up, take over the one of the main viewing areas for the launch with our RV with Flat Earth posted all over it. And we're going to, basically tell everyone about the true nature of the Earth all over it. Are all over that location, and then we're going to tape it in infrared and with a regular P900. We'll have 2 tripods set up, and I'll also do a mobile stream at the time. Maybe some people will meet us up there. I think the legend Force is going to meet us up there. The legend I met today, Frank, might be able to meet us up there, even though it's at 6:11 a.m. It's going to be an early morning. Maybe someone can help me hold my phone, or I can put it up and post it up somewhere. But I'll try to do a mobile stream for you guys here on Globebusters Activism. So make sure you sub to Globebusters Activism if somehow you haven't, but you're watching it. And sub to WitsitGetsIt. We'll be back like Sunday, Monday. Sub to WitsitGetsIt on D Live, WitsitGetsIt on Twitch. And then go check out masqueradetour.com if you ever want to contact or support the tour. If you want to support, links in the description. Also, $WitsitGetsIt on Cash App, witsit@protonmail.com. If you do see this and you send any donations between now and the next stream, I'll read it at the beginning of the next stream. And then I'll read whatever donations are throughout that stream at the end, like I just did. I love you guys. it's been cool. Like I said, becoming water, we have a lot we're in store for, right? It's a beautiful thing. Like, it's a test, but it's an open book test. Just get right with the Creator. Yahshua loves you. The Word became flesh, and you don't just get to leave out the Father, though, right? So just get right with the one true Creator, Abba, the Father, Yahuwah, some say Jehovah, right? Through the mediator, Yahusha, the only one to ever overcome death, which obviously would put a lot of weight in his metaphysical claims. He's no historically accurate figure either. He loves you. Seek it, and you will find him. If you keep being arrogant and don't want to swallow your pride, you won't find the truth, bro. There's not much to it other than that. All right, guys. Seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. I will catch up with y'all mañana, and peace.
That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl, somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature to mean extorted it. They forging it, if news ain't good informant to informing them. There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this, we port and ships important. Yes, of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing this, informing this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?